This is the story of Jackie Young. This is the story of the San Jacinto River. This is the story of a family whose life, like numerous others, has been destroyed by the contaminants a careless company dumped in our environment.
I'm an environmental activist by accident. I've lived most of my life around the Houston area. When I was 15 years old, my family moved to my mother's dream home in a town just east of the city of Houston called Highlands, Texas. The summer of 2011, I was having as many as 7 seizures a week. I was 30 pounds lighter than I am today. I was losing my hair, I lost complete use of my hands, and the doctors could not explain what was wrong with me.
My daughter was becoming more and more ill, and at that point couldn't even get out of bed. I would have to pull her up to feed her and bathe her, and she was in school getting her degree at the time. And so I literally started turning pages for her, doing writing for her, driving her to and from school, and opening doors for her just so she could get into class.
I have digestive issues. I have been diagnosed with several different reproductive issues. I have had surgery to have cancer removed from my reproductive organs, and I recently just turned 28 years old.
I picked up a fence that was blown down in a storm, and it snapped, and my back snapped in the process. So here I am with no health insurance. And the next thing you know, you find out, that you have cancer.
Unknown to her, Jackie and her family were being slowly poisoned by the very water supply that supported her home, which was fed by the San Jacinto River, a water main that was contaminated by a superfluous amount of carcinogens known as dioxins.
1965, Champion Paper Mill in Pasadena, Texas, contracted McGinnis Industrial Maintenance Corporation to dispose of their paper mill waste sludge. The contractor dug pits adjacent to the San Jacinto River and disposed of over 200,000 cubic yards of toxic waste. Just a few short later, the companies decided to abandon the waste pits. The pits were discovered in 2005 by Texas Parks and Wildlife. They were searching for what is said to be the largest source of dioxin and PCB contamination in local waterways in Galveston Bay.
I was just getting older. At first, she thought that I was not drinking enough water, getting dehydrated, but she knew, as we look back that, I drank plenty of water. I drank like a fish out there.
The most toxic form of dioxin is referred to as TCDD. That is the same type of dioxin that can be found in and around the San Jacinto River waste pits.
I was an avid water drinker. That is pretty much the only thing that I would drink there on that ranch was water. It had a sweet taste to it. It appeared very clear. So it was almost like you couldn't get enough of that water. Little did we know that sweet taste was the chemicals that we were ingesting, and we had no idea.
Dioxin can cause health effects such as cancer, kidney problems, autoimmune diseases, and developmental issues. Dioxin also has been commonly associated in scientific and medical research with reproductive issues.
We took a jar of our water to U of H Clear Lake to a professor there and had him run it. Within a few hours, he called us back and said, "Shut your well. You all may die from this."
In Highlands, there are several Superfund sites, more specifically the San Jacinto River waste pits. As I got older, the issues started to compound on one another, particularly after Hurricane Ike. My family and I all started experiencing random and unexplainable health issues. Our animals did as well.
The horse started showing issues as well. In her joints. Even when she was about 2 years old, she has a distinct limp. Her eyes were becoming clouded over, as well as the animals were getting very ill. My dogs, my cats were throwing up blood. And this was a daily event, and I also was throwing up blood.
Before I was diagnosed, I was still working as a company employee. I haul cars for a living. I've done it all my life. And I was on my way back to Houston, and I sneezed. And I fractured a rib.
People go to the doctor, and the doctor says to people, we don't know what's wrong with you. We can't figure it out. And that's the common theme, is the doctors don't know what's happening to these people, what's causing their cancer and their digestive issues, their nervous system issues. They don't stop to think, maybe they live by a Superfund site, or maybe they're on well water, or maybe they live by a factory. And I think that doctors in general need to start embracing the environmental effects of this world and associating it with their patients.
Jackie, her family, and the people of Highlands are like many, many others. Victims. The unforeseen and often unspoken consequences of humanity's careless contamination. To us, their story, while shocking, may seem an unlikely possibility. But what if the poison was in your water?